Hi everyone. I was going to try and talk to you in this video about death, pain and fear, but I'm actually just going to read it out to you because I've been sitting by the river this morning as I go through my process of Vision Quest, and there's so much coming to me that I am writing it down, but I'm also feeling to share little bits of it out into the world instead of waiting until my time of Vision Quest is over, because I feel like it's needed for us all to move towards a place of renewal when the lockdown finishes, for us to share what we're discovering at this time of isolation about ourselves and about the world and about community and whatever it is that's coming to you, whatever it is that you're learning at this time of isolation, time of this opportunity of this Vision Quest that we're in. So those of you who know that I work with Rites of Passage with Hannah, and I was doing that with my partner Steve, is that before he died, was that, and we're working through, our work is the thresholds from birth to death. So obviously, for obvious reasons, the death of my partner, I've been in the death threshold. And I was sitting by the river this morning, and this is what came to me, and I'm going to read it out to you because when I try to speak it, it just doesn't quite make as much sense as if I just read it. And I'm not, I just wanted to share it with you, and I'm not really saying it's the truth. I'm saying it's my truth, and I just want to express it to everyone in case it helps. So it's about the death threshold and pain and fear. So all that awaits for us at the threshold of physical death is an awakening into love. If your soul is awakened already into love, you and not fear, then death is welcomed. The pain of dying comes from the resistance we have to trust and love. The pain we create is what stops us from having a good death. There is so much pain being created right now on the earth plane because of the fear that is being generated. The fear is not real. This is generated by the human race. I'm just going to interrupt there my flow of what I was reading because it reminds me of some shamanic training I had which comes from Peru, from high up in the mountains in Peru. The Cuero Indians believe that there is no such thing, there's heavy energy or fear density, but it's generated by the human race, that the earth in its pristine state and the human race in its pristine state is actually full of Sami, which is light energy, refined energy. So the human race is going around creating heavy dense energy of fear. It doesn't actually exist in the natural world or as in our natural state. So yeah, the fear is not real. It's being generated by the human race. What we need to realize is that we are the creators of our reality. If we generate mass hysteria and fear, then at our death, whether it's from the coronavirus or from something else, it will be painful. Painful for the person dying, painful for those around the person, and ultimately it will perpetuate the culture we are creating of pain and fear. Death is coming to us all anyway. It doesn't just happen to somebody else. And we really need to get this because, death isn't, we're burying our heads in the sand. We're like doing that thing, la, 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 about death. It's like, we are going to die. We're all going to die at some point, whether it's from the coronavirus or not. We are on our path to death. Death, yeah. Life is a movement towards death. It's always moving towards your death. From the moment you are born, yeah? From the moment we're born, life is taking us on our journey to death. Life is about letting go and surrendering to this process that ultimately will end in our physical death. So death is an awakening to love, and you simply carry on. You stay alive. Your soul stays alive. So this comes from the teachings around us being souls, not just physical body, yeah, and the immensity of our soul and how our soul is consciousness and it simply carries on. It doesn't die, it stays alive. This is my experience. Move out of the pain you are creating for yourselves. Feel the truth of the reality of love. Open your heart. The corona pandemic then ceases to exist. People are dying, or living in a different form, you could say, transforming all the time, in every moment, all over the world. So I think what I mean there by the coronavirus being a pandemic ceases to exist is that why are we panicking so much about a virus when there's like people dying of malaria, people dying of starvation, people, thousands and thousands, millions of people dying of other diseases all of the time, and we haven't created a mass hysteria, world hysteria pandemic around that. And it's like, what are we afraid of? We're afraid of death. Why be afraid of death if it's an awakening to love? Okay, so move out of the pain you are creating for yourselves. Feel the truth of the reality of love. Open your heart. If you want to have a good death process and die well, get out of the fear reality. See death for what it truly is. Life continuing, consciousness and love. We need to wake up and really live life and live our deaths. Because of our fear of death, we are creating pain. Then we are falling into the trap of losing our freedom, falling into separation through isolation. How do you want to live? In fear and isolation and pain, or in love and joy? How do you want to die? In fear and isolation and pain and fear, or in love and joy? It's your choice. It's all just a choice. How do you come back to love then and move away from fear and pain? You trust, you surrender, and you let go. How? By feeding soul, by feeling your soul, feeling your connection to spirit, and coming back to your heart and staying in a place of love. And how do we do that? We connect to nature, the natural world, to understand the true nature of reality. And we connect to nature through our heart space, awakening ourselves to heart-centered perception in life, in nature, in love, in death. It's all about the heart space, because that's where our soul resides. Time is of the essence. We are a pivotal turning point for humanity. Dare you step out of fear. I dare you to step out of fear. I really do actually dare you to step out of fear. I know I'm saying that with a little bit of a joke, but actually it is our test, really, to step out of fear. If we want to really live, if we want to fully experience life, which includes fully experiencing death and the beauty that exists around death and the beauty that exists in life, we have to be courageous enough to take a leap into a new reality based on love. You have nothing to lose. What is the worst that can happen? What, you die? Wow, welcome to dying in love, because there is no end. Goodbye. Love you all.